Goldylocks Productions provides professional internet, TV, and radio shows in the spiritual and New Age genre.
Hi, everybody. Anthony Rodriguez here, Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. How is everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I am ready. I am ready. I am ready for another edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with myself, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. I want to welcome everybody who's been following me for quite some time, and I want to thank any new listeners that are logging in today. But before we get started, I'm going to do a little drumming. I'm going to do a little singing. I'm going to smudge us. I'm going to ask Creator Great Spirit to clear us and do all those things. So let's get started. All right. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you for giving us another Tuesday, another day to choose what it is we want to choose for our life. If we want to choose happiness, if we want to choose a new job, if we want to choose a new relationship, a relationship with ourselves, a relationship with others, a relationship with you, Creator Great Spirit, a relationship with Great Mother, Gaia, Pachamama, Madre Tierra, Mater, Mother, a new relationship with the power of the four directions, and the power of self. So I'm going to ask Creator Great Spirit, as I light some sage, to wash over us, not just wash over me, but to wash over me and all of us, all of you, the listeners, that he would wash through the computers and we would clear all the energies within me and in the computers and in the phones. And the phones were buggy before we started, so we're not using the phones today. So the phone lines and the computer lines and everything, and that I would be a clear channel of a beautiful and blessed message for all of you. It's such an important time right now. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Thank you, Creator Great Spirit. Oh man, I'm on fire today, and my heart's pounding out of my chest, and I don't know why, but that's going on today. And I want to go through my calendar real quick. I want to welcome everybody again. The calendar is important. I know it's a lot of information, but every Tuesday, right here at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can catch me, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, here on the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. Also, every Thursday night at 8 p.m., Sound Vibration Magic Drum Bath Journey with Walking Crow. This week, I'm going to be drumming live from my solstice event in Sedona. So I'm going to ask everybody to log on. I want to get 100 listeners minimum, and I'm going to ask you if you would make a donation and allow an exchange of energies to take place for those services. And then Sound Vibration Magic Drum Bath Journey on June 20th. Wait a minute. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Never mind. Why do I have it on here twice? And then Your Abundance in the Summer Solstice with Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow on Thursday in Sedona at the Sedona Creative Life Center at 7 p.m. It's $40. Go to my Facebook page or to my website, and you can sign up for that, register for that, and go ahead and get that done right away. The other Sound Vibration Magic Drum Bath Journey that I was talking about is going to take place on the 20th in Sedona, for Sedona. That's for a small group in Sedona that I'm going to be doing. But maybe I'll just go live with that and allow that to happen as well as on Thursday night from the solstice event. Okay, so I apologize for the confusion. On a Wednesday night, it's going to be at 8 p.m. So, join us, please join us. And Full Moon Manifestation, the Sacred Drum Making Workshop for Charlotte, North Carolina, that has been canceled. We're going to push a date back to August 4th and 5th in Asheville, North Carolina. And there's some other dates that are coming at the end of July in Nevada City, California, with my host, Ingrid Turner. You all know who she is. And I can't wait to do that. And then there's going to be some more dates added. So let's move forward from that. And let's go get into the show. Okay, so where are we? Oh, thank you for the sound sounded amazing. The drum and the voice sounded amazing. I could hear that, and the drum acted like a subwoofer for my voice, which I heard be magnified or amplified. And I did tell you, my producer, before the show, that I was amped. So the guides are speaking to me. They're speaking through me, and they're allowing me to be heard in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way. Aho, aho. And I want to thank my friend Maria Saganis for wishing me well on the show today. She just sent me a message, and I'm excited. Wow. Last week I talked about depression, and got to slow down. I got to put my feet flat on the floor. I have to ground because my heart is beating really fast and I'm moving really fast. And I just need to take I need to step back a little bit. But boy, the energy in my studio is amazing. It's off the hook. There are so many things that are happening in my life today. And last week I was talking about depression, and we talked about those things that hold us back, those things that we speak into our life, that we bring into our life. And I had a couple of clients over the last week, male clients who I brought them through to the other side of what it was that they were going through and what it was that they didn't understand. And they came out of the sessions that they had with me with great understanding. And then I had another young lady who listens to the drumming from Missouri, Dogwood, Missouri. And she wrote me this big, long thank you, and her big long experience about how she's relieved from pain. She no longer has pain in her feet, and she hasn't been able to really walk for 4 years. And I was brought to tears by that, because we never know who we're helping or how we're helping people. And she's in Missouri and I'm in Los Angeles. And I was able to drum last Thursday night. And she's been listening to that drumming. She's been listening to the shamanic drumming. She's been setting her attentions when she lays down on the couch or on her bed or wherever she lays down to listen. And she listens. And not only does she listen with her ears, she listens with her heart space. She listens with her soul. She listens with every inch and fiber of her body. And this woman is pain-free today. She told me she was doing squats. She was doing squats in her kitchen while she was cooking. She says, I don't do squats. And that's amazing. And if you want to see that testimony, you can go to my Facebook page and you can read it there. And I haven't placed it on my website yet, but it's going to be placed on my website for testimonies. This is a woman who's been dogged, and she has no reason to be depressed, but her body was given, we don't know what people carry in regard to the goo, the darkness, and we carry these wounds and this baggage from our past life, and we don't let go. We don't let good. We don't let God. We don't allow ourselves to let go of those things. We carry them around like a ball and chain. They are not a ball and chain for us to carry around. We are here to triumph over the issues in our tissues, the issues in our emotional tissues that people call mental illness. It's not mental illness, and I wish they would stop calling it mental illness. We are a country of emotional cripples, whether you're man, woman, or child, and they're crippling kids emotionally right now in the borderlands. And it's not funny. And it's not because they're illegal. That's not the case. When you get to that border, by the way, and you ask for asylum, you are legal. There's no such thing as illegal, and that doesn't happen. They are lying to you, just like we lie to ourselves. And I'm using that as an example. We lie to ourselves, and we kid ourselves, and we kid ourselves so much, and we tell ourselves that it's true so much that we make it be true. It's not true. it's not so. I am not a bad person. I am not stupid. You are not stupid. You are not fat. You are not ignorant. You were not this. You were not that. You were not any of those things that you were told as a child. The abuse, whether it be physical, whether it be verbal, whether it be sexual, is not yours to carry. Aho. I had to let go of the abuse from my childhood, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I manifest in a good way. I manifest in a good way because I was willing to let go. I was willing to let God. I was willing to step in the power of my feet and my root and my shoot. And I was able to be well grounded and expand my foundation and have a deep foundation and allow this tree to stand and extend my hands into the heavens and allow the birds of the air to nest in my branches. And I share, and the fruit that they eat of my branches, in my branches, is the experience of how I got from point A to point B. And this week, my point B is going to Sedona, manifesting the greatness of a life that I've always had and I've always wanted, but I held myself back from it because I didn't know how to achieve it, because I was talked to in a way and treated in a way that was demeaning, that was heartbreaking, that was soul breaking. I spent my time up here in the darkness of the gu, not knowing how to go to the guru, darkness to light, master. A guru is somebody who helps you move from darkness to light. I am not a guru. At least I don't say I am. You can call me teacher. You can call me shaman. You can call me curandero. You can call me master. You can call me whatever you want. But I never call myself guru. I know that I will help you to go from darkness to light and be the facilitator for you to help you step into that power. And I am simply that. I'm a humble servant. My teacher, one of my elders from my lodge, from my men's lodge, he's half Yaqui, half Apache. His name is Hector Mazawali. Mazawali is his given name, his spiritual name, and it means humble servant. Aho, aho. Aho. So, I was given the name Walking Crow. Aho. And this week I came across Crow. I came upon Crow on the yellow lines of a road on Canaan Dune on the way to Malibu on Sunday to meet a friend. And I came across Crow, and I got out of my car and I picked that crow up and I brought that crow home. And this crow now has wings. You see them on the banner of my Facebook page. This crow is now soaring along with walking. I am doing both things. I'm doing both modalities, and I am moving quickly and I am moving swiftly, and so can you. That's what I'm here to tell you. You don't have to live in your depression. You don't have to live in your darkness anymore. You don't have to live in the wounds of the words that were used against you. You don't have to live in the wounds of the violence that was perpetrated on you. You don't have to live in the wounds, the hurts, and the shames of the sexual abuse that you had to endure from that sick person that hunted you and did that to you. Aho. You don't have to live in those wounds. I'm here to tell you that there is a way, and the way is through the darkness. Through the darkness, there is always light. Through the darkness, there is always light. From the morning light at 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., I see the sun coming in the east, the sun of manifestation, the direction of the east, direction of grandfather, son, direction of new beginnings, direction of springtime. Know that you can have new beginnings anytime that you want. But I'm going to ask you to reach out to me. I'm going to ask you to call me today at 323-870-3791. Call into the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show and be with me. Be with Walking Crow. Tell me what you have to say. Ask for the healing. Allow me to do a pendulum reading for you. I've never talked about doing pendulum readings, but I do pendulum readings. I also read the subtle energy of the body. Even if I can't see you, I start to ask you questions and I start to read that. I can help you. I've helped myself, I went to coffee this morning at Starbucks, which I never do. And there I was, because it's blocks from my house, and I wanted to have like a chai because I'm not drinking coffee anymore, but I did have an ad shot. I made it a dirty chai. And I met a woman in there who was very friendly. And she just so happened to be a friend of my sisters from high school. And she lives probably about 4 blocks from where the studio is. And we got to talking, and I sat down to drink my coffee, and her daughter sat down with me, and we started to talk. And then she started to reveal. So I asked her for permission to, read her. And we started to pull the thread on the sweater, and I started to unwind that sweater, and she started to have her moment of emotion. And I started to share with her how the emotions are attached to the physical being and the physical manifestation of the things that happen in the body. And she understood, and she was very clear. And this is somebody that I had never seen before in my life, but I didn't know she was a friend of my sister's, but there she was. Her daughters were ignoring her mother doing what they do, and her mother had enough time. It was probably about a half hour, 45 minutes with me to learn a lot, so I'm hoping that she'll call me. But she knows that she doesn't have to live in that pain. She said that she had an imbalance in her equilibrium. Well, of course she had an imbalance in her equilibrium. She had also told me that her mother left when she was a young girl. She left her 3 daughters. So there was an imbalance. There's an emptiness in the heart. There's an emptiness in the second chakra. There's there is a no or low self-esteem in that place of the fire. Her foundation was rocked for a lifetime. Even though she's married and has a good husband, she still doesn't know how to speak well of herself. She still doesn't know how to give herself good words. And I said, stop speaking that way to yourself, because if this said poison, would you drink it? I repeat this every week on this show, if not multiple times. But we continue to drink it as a community. We continue to drink it as individuals. We continue to drink it as community, as a city, as a town, as a state, as a nation. And you see it every day when you turn on your boob tube, when you turn on the poison box. You take the control and you turn it on, and then you're like zombified and stuck to CNN, MSN, whatever N, F and N. I don't watch TV. I don't want to watch TV. I can't do that to myself because I did it to myself for years. I bought the package from the parents, from the teachers, about being stupid, about being ignorant, about being black, about being a nigger. Yes, that's the word they used to call me as a child. That's one of the words that they used to abuse me with, of being slapped in school, having my arm pulled, having my ear pulled, having my head hit, being hit with a ruler. How is that teaching a child? How and why is that not referred to as not taking responsibility for who you are? And when they try to blame you as a child for who you become as a child, they blame you like you raised yourself, like I raised myself. I talk about this all the time, but I live in love. I live in love, and I don't have to hold their feet to the fire for that. I can talk about it without being angry. I can talk about it without being fearful. I can talk about it without being hurt. I can talk about it without being ashamed. And you can too. This young woman asked me this morning, how do you walk into a room and talk about how big you are and be that big and not be considered conceited or arrogant? I said, that is none of my business. People who consider me conceited or arrogant, when I talk about the things that I talk about and I walk into a room the way that I do and stand in the power the way that I do, and speaking of the power, are living in their own smallness. They're living in their own no or low self-esteem. They're living in their own broken connection from others. They're living in their own broken heart. They're stuck in their voice, and they're not able to go from goo of the stinking thinking to rule, to allow themselves to be free of those things. So they find other people to point the finger at and blame and say, oh, look at that guy. He's a clown. He's this. That happens. And I told her, who cares what other people think? I don't care. I said, I say this every day on live videos on Facebook. I do live videos. I do YouTube. I do this show. And I don't care who's listening, who's got anything to say about who and what I am and how I am, about the way I am. And it's a great thing to be able to stand that way. And yeah. Want to remind you, you're listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow. And I'm asking you to call in. Give yourself the voice at 323-870-3791. What is it you need today? What is it you want today? What is it that you want to do for yourself? What do you want to choose for yourself on Tuesday? It's Tuesday, and you get to choose anything you want, any way you want to be. You get to give yourself love. You get to give yourself anything you want. What do you choose to give yourself? My friend Sarah is logged on, and she's listening, and Sarah listens every week. Sarah chooses to give herself something. Sarah chooses to give herself something to chew on. You can't give somebody a baby steak, or they'll choke on the bone. You got to give them a little gristle. You got to give them a little something so they can take that in, and they can and they can understand and get a taste of it, a taste for it. And I didn't mean to use gristle or meat as a example, because I am a partial vegan. I'm a partial vegan. I'm a PV, not a VP. Every now and again I eat meat. I don't eat meat all the time. I mostly eat plant-based vegetables, that sort of thing, fruits. But because I choose to give myself something different. Not saying it's better, but I want to be conscious about the way animals are taken for food, and not in a mass way. For money, for profit, for all those things. Everybody's got to make money, just like I do. But just like you do, everybody's got to eat, everybody's got to pay rent, everybody's got to put gas and make the car payment and all those things. But how do we do it? Do we do it in a good way? I hope. Do you treat yourself in a good way? I hope. When it comes to that, do you treat yourself in a good way where, if you're willing to feed yourself good food? In fact, I'm going to take it back to the story about the young woman I had coffee with this morning. She said, because she's going to be a dental hygienist. She just retired from one job, and her dream is to be a dental hygienist. And that's noble, that's noble. And she's raising her kids, and she's taking care of her husband and their home. And she said, what you put in your mouth is very important because of the teeth. And I said, oh yeah, it's very important. I said, but can I tell you something? I said, what comes out of your mouth is just as important. And what as a man speaketh, I said, so is he, or so is she in her heart. Oh, so is she in her heart. So when you speak illy of yourself, when you speak poorly of yourself, think about that. What are you saying to yourself? What are you feeding yourself? And why would you? Especially if you're suffering and had a lifetime of suffering through the wounds and the shame and the hurts and the bondage and the baggage that you've been carrying that wasn't yours to carry. It wasn't yours to carry. It isn't yours to carry. Aho, aho. What will you choose today? What will you choose today? Aho, aho. So there's some people that are reaching out to me right now that are confused. There's no call-in today. I apologize about that. The phones weren't working, so we had to move to a different mode. So I apologize if you're watching and you're not able to call in. But if you want to type some questions in, feel free to use the keyboard and type questions in and ask me what you want. Say what you want to say, and I'll do the best I can with not being able to hear you. And I really, really deeply apologize that I'm not able to talk to you in a different way and in the way that I wanted to today. And so, use your keyboard. Hold on a sec. Just had to send that person a message so they would be aware that, there's, we're video only today. There's no radio. The radio is going to be, posted later on. So, and it's going to be peeled off of this broadcast. So where were we? Oh yeah, what goes into your mouth is important, but what comes out of your mouth is probably even more important, because as I sat with this young lady, I said, do you have any physical issues on your left side? Because I already told her that she had trouble receiving. And that's the imbalance. She had never received the nurturing of a mother. She had never received the nurturing of the breast. She's the youngest. She had never received the love that she should have had from mother. But amazingly enough, she's raising her girls, and the girls are getting that loving. And I told her, I said, you need to take time to give yourself what it is that you never received. Give it to yourself. Transcend, transition, transmute, transform. Allow yourself to be given the things by yourself. You can't give away what you haven't got, I said to her. You can't give away what you haven't got. And it's a shame that people, that's not the first time I heard that. Yesterday, I had a client who came in and his father was murdered by some coworkers with a baseball bat, and that's a tragic thing. He was a little boy, so I had to walk him through some things yesterday. But I'm going to tell you a little part of the story. As I was doing the energy healing on this young man, I asked him a question. I asked him, how was your father? How did he pass? And he said, well, my father was murdered by some friends. And gee, what kind of friends can you have in a bar with a baseball bat? So there was some spirits in, spirit out. Remember that. What are the intentions when you're taking in alcohol and drugs and things for yourself? What are your intentions? Is it just to have a drink, or is it to really drown yourself out and drown out the sorrows and the hurts and the wounds and the shames and those sorts of things? And I said to him, I said, do you know what they call a group of crows? Because he said he had been seeing crows, and he saw a crow yesterday when he was coming to see me. And I had came across crow on Sunday, and I had taken the wings and the talons of that crow, and they are now part of my medicine. And he said, no. I said, they call a group of crows. And is everybody ready for it? Does anybody know? Please type it in if you know before I say it. Tiffany, do you know? No? Anybody? All right. Anybody know? Nobody's typing anything yet? Okay. A group of crows is called a murder. Let that sink in for a few seconds, for a minute. Let that sink in. A group of crows is called a murder. And the crow had been coming to this young man. And this young man's father was murdered by a group of friends with a baseball bat in a bar. What a tragedy. What a sad way to go. What a sad way to have this life for this young man who's never had a father. He never knew his father. He was 3 years old, and he's imbalanced too. And we brought him into some balance last night, but he's going to have a lifetime. Thank you, Tiffany. Yes, a murder. It's called a murder. And I looked at him and he started to cry. I said, this is what it's all about. He says, well, I want to get to the bottom of things and how things happen. I said, you know how things happen. You don't need to know the rest of the details. What the hell is that? See, we go into our heads. We go into the thinking. I said to this young man, you need to be in the feeling of how that lands on you, and feel that, and get angry and cry and be sad and be in the hurt and the wounds of what you haven't been in the hurt and the wound of for a lifetime, because you missed out on your life because you were too busy thinking about how you weren't loved by not only your father, who is not around and detached, and you live in no or low self-esteem, but the same wound came from the mother and the stepfather. And the alcoholism that came into the household, and this young man is concerned about his alcoholism. It's not alcoholism. A whole. Admit that you have the ism if you have it. Ism. ISM. I surrender, man. I surrender, man. I surrender. Give yourself the surrender to your alcoholism. Give yourself the surrender to your drug addiction. Give yourself the surrender to those things that have dogged you for a lifetime and you don't know what to do about them. When you drink and you get angry and you want to fight, understand what's happening. You could be involved in a murder and not even know it, with a group of angry people. And things can happen and get out of hand and out of control because spirit's in and spirit out. Be with the feelings of the anger, of the hurt and the wounds and the loneliness that you felt as a child, because my father was taken from me, because my mother wasn't available, because she was curing herself with alcohol. She was medicating herself with alcohol. My stepfather was medicating himself with alcohol. But here I am today in an office of a shamanic healer who says, I can help you. Lay on my table. I understand. I am sober. And so can you. Aho. And my life has changed and transformed in the most amazing ways because I'm willing to say yes to little Anthony and heal the wounded child. Please heal the wounded child. Find your way to the little boy. Find your way to the little girl who was left behind. Find yourself somebody who can take you there. Give me a call at area code 818-442-1717. That's my office number. You can send me an email at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com or go to my office. My website at www.sacreddrummedicine.com. Get the help that you need. Get the help that you want. I have set pricing, but I can do a sliding scale so we can help you in a different way. And I do online video conferencing for mentoring. I do video conferencing for coaching. We do video conferencing for healing and drum healings and all those things. There's plenty of room for you to get help. How do you need help, and how can I help you? Hey, aho. And I want you, those of you who are watching my show, who are watching this show right here, right now, say with me, Oishino, 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 I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. And I will ask you, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Aho. Come into the willingness in a way that you've never come into it before. Give yourself the freedom of happiness. Give yourself the freedom of the truth. Give yourself the freedom of crying and weeping and sobbing that'll help you mourn the childhood that you never had. Oh, that it'll help you mourn the parents that you never had, the father that you never had, the mother that you never had, the God that you never had, whatever it is. Allow yourself to go through the feelings and mourn through them. Put your feet flat on the floor. I'm going to ask you right now, everybody, put your feet flat on the floor and take your hands and place them on your thighs. Place them on your thighs. And I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to place your hands where you feel your breath and exhale. My hands landed on my right side, on my sternum of my fire, my fuego, I can, I will, I do, my third chakra, fire, fuego, and on my heart space in the center. Right side is divine masculine. So my hand, I felt that breath on the right side of my self-esteem. Aho, aho, I'm making my way through. I'm doing it, you know? So, if you're not able to do that, reach out to me and let me help you. Let me listen to what you have to talk about. Let me listen to the wound, because within the space that we speak, within the place that we stand when I'm standing with you, within the place that you sit when you are at one of my events, that is a sacred circle. There is nothing but safety and security there. There is nobody there to judge you. There is nobody there to hurt you. There is nobody there to wound you. We are only there. I am only there to help you walk and step through the veil of the healing place that you want to be, and step away from the hurts, the wounds, and the shames, and the dogma, and the sadness, and the loneliness that you had to endure. And I don't want to say that you once lived, because you haven't crossed over yet until you say yes. When will you say yes to a new life? When will you say yes to a new way of being? Aho, when? Say it now. Type it in. Say yes. Tell me yes. Tell me what it is that you want. Aho, shinawanasenata. Aho, she. Yeah. So there's people who can't find the blog and how to blog on, and I don't know what to tell them, because, But hold on a second. Let me see if join the broadcast. Yeah, okay, there you go. I'm going to post it to these people. Whoops. Yep. That wasn't it. So I'm trying to find it. As I try to find it, lost my video. So I don't even know if anybody's watching because there's technical difficulties and things are happening out there that I don't understand and I don't know what's going on. And let me see what's going on today because I think something's going on and I may not even be on the air. How about that? You know, how about that? May not even be on the air. Am I? You know, I don't know. Well, I'm seeing me, so maybe that's happening. So let me see. Okay. So there's a lot of energy going on. Okay, I'm on the air. Thank you, Tiffany. I love you. Whew. Okay, so you lost me for a second, but I'm back on. So what do you have to say? What do you want to say to me? Sarah's here. Thank you, Sarah. And for those who have come on late, we've had technical difficulties this morning. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. And maybe I need to smudge, and maybe are those forces because I am transitioning, I am transmuting, I am transcending. And maybe there are those forces that don't want me to be heard today because I am moving forward and you can too. There's always those other energies that don't want you to move forward and change your life. They like to hold on to the darkness. They like to hold on to the hurt. They like to hold on to the wound and they like to rub your face in it. They like to rub your face in it. Please allow me a second so I can take a drink of water. Hold on a second. Oh boy, thank you very much. I talk a lot and I get parched when I get I get dry throat and parched in my mouth when I do a lot of energy speaking. And this is what's called energy speaking. This is spirit speaking. Spirit is speaking through me. And spirit gives me the words to say because as I spoke to this young woman this morning at Starbucks, she asked me where I got my education because she said that she wanted to be a philosopher. And she takes psychology classes. And I said, well, I'm a philosopher, but I didn't go to school to become a philosopher. I just am because I'm willing to be. And there's things that come out of my mouth that and quotes, and you guys see them all day long on Facebook and social media. It comes out of me and it comes out of me. It comes out of me. I am a philosopher. I am a seer. I don't like to say I'm a mystic because, people like to throw that word around. But, there's a lot of things that I am that I didn't study to be. I just am. I just was, and I didn't ask for this until it was clear that it was happening. And I started to say yes. And then I stepped into it. And like my friend Jeannie Love says, Anthony, you asked for it. Aho, aho, aho. Chiewa, thank you for coming aboard. I see you. Thank you for coming aboard. Sorry about the technical difficulties. It's been an interesting day. I'm still smudging. Still smudging after all these years and fears and tears. Anyways, so does anybody have a question? Type a question in Grand Rising. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Sarah, I know you're there. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank my beautiful producer, Tiffany White Sagewoman, for holding down the boat. She's in the control room in Connecticut, and she's holding down the boat from back there. You are on there. I told you. It's fatty. Yeah, it's big fatty. Anyway, so yeah, technical difficulties, but no spiritual difficulties. Are you ready? Are you ready? Indeed, activation recall within DNA. We are being activated. We're moving into the fifth dimension out of third dimension. If you listen to Tiffany White Sagewoman on her show on Sunday, she talks about 5D all the time. Are you ready for 5D? Are you ready for transition, transmutation, transcendence, transformation? I have transformed so much in my life that all I want to do is share with people about doing that. All I want to do is give away what I've been given. I love that I've been given the joy and the tools of grace and the tools of happiness and the tools of wisdom. I love that I'm able to say to you, nurture your nature. And you ask yourself, well, what nature? The one that was the nature that was taken away from you, the nature that was slapped out of you as a child, that was spoken out of you as a child, that was abused out of you as a child, sexually or physically. That nature, nurture that nature before what happened. It's that important for you to grow into your foundation. It's that important for you to be with Earth Mother, Great Mother. Be with her, sit on her, sit on the roots of grandmother trees, and sit in the circulation of the energies that flow between the roots and the branches of those trees as you ground with Mother Earth. Take the time, give it to yourself. What is it that you want? You know how it hurts. How would you like to know how it doesn't hurt? Because I can teach you and show you how it doesn't hurt. I want to remind you that you're watching the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with myself, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And if you want to reach out to me for help, you can give me a call here at the studio today on the show at 323-870-37. Oh, no, you can't. Never mind. Forget I said that. Why do I keep saying that? That's not so. That's not true. But yeah, I keep looking over to that right side, and I keep saying there's a number, but there's no number today. There's no calling number. So you got to type in. Thank you. It's Ichiawa. I have to remember how to say that because I want to say Ichawanda, and it's not Ichawanda. I apologize. And so are you rooted and are you fruited? What direction are you willing to go into? Those of you who are the divine feminine, the divine gracious goddesses in the world that are friends of mine and that walk the path. Direction of the West, the medicine wheel, direction of the West, direction of the woman, direction of grandmother moon, 28-day cycle, letting go. Direction of autumn, fall, letting go of the leaves. Are you ready to let go? We're coming in to the solstice, summer solstice, Thursday. And write down with your right hand, with the hand of manifestation, with the hand of moving forward, write down what it is you want to let go. Write it down. Write it down. And send it to me if you want. Send me the list. And I want you to write those things that you want to let go. I want you to write on the left side of the piece of paper the things that you want for yourself, that you want to manifest, that you want to receive. Left hand is divine feminine. Left hand is receiving, the hand of receiving. It's the hand of duality. It receives a whole. Divine masculine gives to divine feminine. Take that hand and write down on the left side of a sheaf of paper what it is you want to manifest, what it is you want to be, the joy that you want to step into, the happiness you want to step into, the job you want to step into, the relationship with self, the letting go of the bondage and the hurts and the wounds and the shame and the pains. A whole. Write those things you want to let go of on the right side and write the things you want to manifest and receive on the left side. And then take the paper and tear it in half. And on Thursday, when I'm drumming for you and with you on Thursday, I want you to take that piece of paper. I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to take a match. I want you to take a lighter. I want you to take incendiary device and I want you to set it on fire. And I want you to watch the smoke rise to Creator, Great Spirit, to Great Mother, and the power of all four directions, a whole, and say no more. No more. I do not want to be hurt. I do not want to be wounded. I will not be a victim. I am not a victim. I am not a victim. I stand in the power of who and what I have always been. I stand in the power of who and what they tried to take away from me. I stand in the power of my root, of my shoot, of my foundation. I stand in the power and I raise my branches into the heavens. And the birds of the air nest in my branches and eat of my fruit. The fruit of your experience, the fruit of how you got from point A to point B, and the people that you share it with that eat of your fruit say, me too. How did you do it? You too? Me too. Oh my gosh. Wow. And allow your hearts to melt, your hardened hearts to melt and become one in an embrace in the energies and circular energies of receiving and giving, receiving and giving, receiving and giving. Because you can't give away what you haven't got. So give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. Hug yourself. Take in that breath and bring it right into the third chakra, to the place of the fire. Stoke that fire. Moms are infamous for not taking full breaths. They take breaths to about here. But I will tell you, take a breath in through your heart space, through your lungs, and right into the place of the fire, into your sternum. And allow that fire to be stoked. Only you can do it. Somebody else can't do it for you. Mr. Right Now, or Mr. Right, or Mrs. Right Now, or Mrs. Right can't stoke your fire. They can in certain ways and for a little bit, but it's fleeting and it's not lasting. Just like people who smoke cigarettes, they take it into their fifth chakra where they don't know how to say, will you love me? Will you care for me? Will you help me? And they take that into their lungs where air, lungs, heart, lungs, air. I love, I'm loved. I don't have the capacity to love. I don't have the capacity to be loved. And they take that and they give it to themselves, and it's fleeting and it goes away. And the tragedy is they continue in that cycle expecting something to be different. And there's nothing different until you take away the smoke, you take away the cigarette, and you take a breath in, because I'm feeding my lungs oxygen, I'm feeding my fire oxygen, I'm feeding myself something that's good, that something that isn't detrimental to my life. It doesn't tax my lungs, it doesn't tax my heart. It doesn't tax my fifth chakra. I give myself free, beautiful, clear, crisp oxygen. I call it second medicine because first medicine is water. First medicine is water. And a lot of you who want to ground and want to be spiritual don't drink enough water. You don't drink water. You're drinking energy drinks and all kinds of crap like that. And you're not drinking water and you're not taking breath in. You know, a lot of people live up here in the woo-woo and the ethereal self. And, hey, man, you know, I'm spiritual. Well, you're not spiritual unless your feet on the ground. I live the duality of the heaven and earth, and ground and earth and universe. I live in my duality. I am firmly grounded in truth. I am firmly grounded as a tree. And what's great and special about a tree, and those of you who understand what I'm talking about, is the tree never sees itself. You imagine how selfless that is? The tree never sees itself. It only sees the other trees in the grove, and it reaches out and it reaches up to the other trees. It gives. It's of service. It gives its canopy. It gives its leaf, and every now and again it gives its branch for firewood for those who are cold. It gives its fruit that falls to the ground, not only for the animals of the area, but for those who would walk by and pick those up and use them as seeds to plant more trees. A tree is selfless. And that's what I achieve to be, is selfless. I want to give freely, freely. In Alcoholics Anonymous, I say, freely, freely I give. You know? And are we always able to do that? No. Do I have to eat? Yes. Do I want to eat? Yes. Do I want to have a place to sleep under? A roof under? Yeah. Yeah. So, and saying that, I want you to know that this summer I will be traveling from town to town. Right now, I'm going to be in Nevada. I'll be in Nevada City. I'll be in Asheville, North Carolina, and I think I'm going to be in Groton, Connecticut. I'm trying to get to Vermont as well, and I have friends in Texas and in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia that I'm wanting to go in and see. And I'm asking people to open up their homes, open up their backyard, open up your living room, invite 10 to 20 people to your home. Ask them to bring a covered dish, create community. Let's create healing in community. And I will take donations. They don't necessarily have to give me, they can give me whatever they have, whatever they want. It's an exchange of energies. It's a simple exchange of energies. And what happens when I walk out the door the next day or that day is the community continues to heal and gather amongst themselves and share the stories and share the wisdom of healing and the wounds that dogged them for a lifetime. Wouldn't you want to get to know your neighbors who are kind of mean and nasty, and go over and say, hey neighbor, hey, come on over. I'd like to invite you over to my house. And this guy is coming. This crow guy is coming, the guy with the drum, and he's going to be doing this thing. But you know what? Never mind all that. Just come over, bring a covered dish. And if you don't have a covered dish, just come over yourself. How about that? Invite your neighbor, invite your brother, invite your sister. I'm coming. Walking crow is coming. Remember, I got my wings. I got my wings the other day, so I can fly. I can soar. And so can you. And you can because I say you can. You can because you say you can. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't anymore. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't anymore. Don't let anybody tell you that you won't anymore. Aho. I had the naysayers and the doubters and the people that tried to make me be smaller than them, because their egos were working for them and they didn't want anybody to seem like they were, more than they were. I'm not more than anybody. I'm just a simple guy, walking crow, stepping into the power of what Creator, Great Spirit, and the powers of the Four Direction and Great Mother have given me. Aho. Aho. Oishino. 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 Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Oishino se shino do shino yananda ho. Se. I am so excited for the next few weeks, because I'm going to be, the next few weeks I'm going to be firmly planted, and maybe I'm not wrong with slowly, in Sedona. I'm going to be growing roots there, and I'm going to be doing events the whole time I'm there. And I'll be taking clients, and I'll be praying and going into the canyons and doing drumming and soul release for those who have crossed over recently. There are those who have crossed over that may need some help getting to where they're going. And that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go do that. In Sedona. I'm going to go meet and greet and spend time with the ancestors in the canyons, the grandmothers and the grandfathers. The rock people, the stone people. What are you going to be willing to do for yourself? I know you're in Los Angeles or wherever it is that you're at, or in New York or in Chicago or Florida or wherever it is that you're at, or even if you're on the borderlands, crying and praying for those who are stuck. But I'm going to ask you, what will you do for yourself right there? I will ask you to plant your feet on the ground. I will ask you to be of service. I will ask you to give of yourself, not only to yourself, but to those around you who need help. Those around you who need help. I did something the other day, because I've heard about this stuff, and I've seen it, on social media. But I was on Sunday. I was on my way to do an event called Healing the Masculine Soul. It's an event that I did last Father's Day at the Imagine Center in Tarzana, in Los Angeles. But I went to go do this event at a place called the Church of Truth, Center for Awakening Consciousness. And I'm not doing this to call anybody out, but I'm going to tell you this story. So I heard about people going into a Starbucks or a restaurant, and they pay for the meal for the people behind them, right? So I stopped at a Starbucks, twice in a week, twice in a couple of days. I stopped at a Starbucks on Saturday before my event, and I was getting whatever drink I was getting. And I asked them to charge me for a $5 gift card. And I put it in a little thing, and I gave it to the girl. I said, the next person that comes in the door, because there was nobody behind me, pay for their drink and give this to them. And I did that. And she says, and somebody walked up right there. I said, don't say a word. Don't say who, just give it. And that's what happened. And I left. I know who, but they don't know who, right? So I go to my event, and I set up for the event, and it's a beautiful cloudy morning. It's June gloom in Los Angeles. And so I set up, and I'm all ready to go, and nobody shows up. Not one person, not one father, not one dad, not one man, not one woman, not one child, nobody. Well, somebody was there. I was there. I'm consistent about what I do all the time. I'm always consistent about showing up. I'm consistent about being Anthony. I'm consistent about the word palabra, word, palabra, word, palabra, word, truth. I'm consistent about those things. That's why I walk the way I do. I am consistent about those things. That's why I talk the way I do. I am consistent about those things. Look at my smiling face. I was willing to give to somebody who didn't know me. I was willing to give to people who know me. I'm consistent about what it is, who and what it is that I do. Aho. And what I received on Sunday or Saturday was more than I bargained for. Nobody showed up. I was able to be a gift to somebody that I don't know who their name was. I know what they look like, but I don't know what their name is. But I was given the gift of being able to go home and rest in and of myself, by myself, for myself. Aho. Aho. Some people think that that kind of thing is boring. Not me. Not because I'm an old man, because I'm no old man, but because I'm able to nurture the nature of walking crow. I'm willing to step through the veil, but not only for myself, but for others. Does it look like success sometimes? No. But it's absolute success when I show up and I am there because I am present and I am ready. And God's like that. We pray to God for things and well, he doesn't listen. We start to grumble. God doesn't listen to me. I don't know why I'm praying to God. He never answers my prayers. He blah, 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 right? And you ask over and over and over and over and over again for the same damn thing that he heard you the first time. Or she. Mateo. Mateo is a duality of creator, great spirit, and divine feminine, divine masculine. Hope. They heard you the first time. They don't need to hear you the second time or the 100th time or the 1000th time. And they don't care if you're Muslim, Jew, or Christian or Buddhist or whatever you are. They don't care. They heard you the first time. When will you hear yourself the first time? When will you stop listening with your ears and your eyes and start to listen with your heart, with your breath, with your place of the fire, and in your second chakra, the place of the water? When will you put your feet on the floor and feel the energies of Mother Earth? Because not because you can, but because they are. Not because you can, but because you are. What will you give yourself? When will you give it to yourself? And who will you share it with? Aho, shinawana, honata, shinawana, hey, aso, shit, sit. Oh. I'm going to take a minute right now. I know I drummed and I know that I sang, but I'm not going to sing. I'm going to just play the drum for a minute. And I just want you to listen. I want you to be with the heartbeat of Gaia Pachamama. Okay? And just listen for a minute. And then I will come back in to speak. I want to thank everybody for coming. Those who logged in, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll have it worked out for next week, because next week I'll be broadcasting live from Sedona, Arizona, and the vortices and the energy centers of that place. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and you've been watching the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. And for the last time today, I will ask you, when will you say yes? When will you start saying no to those things that you no longer want in your life and start saying yes to the things that you do? Reach out to me, 818-442-1717, Anthony at sacreddrummedicine.com or www.sacreddrummedicine.com. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine, and I thank you and I ask and wish a beautiful day and a beautiful week on you. Aho.